ever noticed the photos on social media of some young girl or older woman striking the sexy pose? You know, the pouty lips, the hand on the hip, leading into the camera with the low-cut blouse. From the tween to the grandmother, girls and women are engaging viewers in a seductive way. It's the come hither look. Do these women and girls know what messages they're really communicating with those photos? I'm not surprised by the sexy poses of these young girls, but the parents themselves post on Facebook with messages of, "My baby's all grown up." Modesty is a controversial topic today, especially when you throw in God into the mix. Some simply cannot fathom that God cares about skin-tight pants. But God does care. In the book of Timothy, it reads, "I desire that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel with modesty and self-control." So it does matter. God does care. In Ephesians, it's proclaimed, when you come to church, come dressed in a way that shows you desire the attention to be on God, not yourself. Scripture also explains that a person's manner or dress or even their preoccupation with clothing itself is often indicative of a heart that loves self more than God. Modesty is a respectable manner of adorning one's body and in carrying oneself born of a freedom from a worldly definition of beauty and worth, and motivated by a hatred of sin and a desire to draw attention to God. So when it comes to the subject of modest clothing, the first question we should ask ourselves is, what am I trying to accomplish by what I wear? I wondered that very thing one Christmas Eve Mass. It was a snowy, bitter cold night with below 20-degree temperatures, and walking up to communion and then later out of Mass with her father's arm around her shoulder was this teenage girl. She wore stiletto-type shoes with a tight skirt that stopped mid-thigh with no tights or pantyhose. As the snow fell, there among the flakes was this bare-legged, model-esque teenager walking out of church. My then 7-year-old daughter looked at us and said, "I think that's very inappropriate." I looked at my husband, and he muttered under his breath, "What are her parents thinking?" No idea, but we only need to look to Scripture to know exactly what we're expected to communicate with how we dress. In Romans, it reads, "I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God." To present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. The next time you strike a pose, imagine Jesus standing in front of you. Would you still be wearing what you're wearing? This has been a Christ-Centered Communication Message. I'm Vanessa Denha-Garmo, a communications evangelist.